Hey guys, F16 here, and welcome back to AOR. As I hopefully explained in Australia's highlights, which would have been out a couple of days ago, this is round one, and Australia didn't count because of the desync, etc. And we are not re-racing Australia because it's a terrible track. So yeah, we're starting our qualifying here on the softs, as you will know, because ILR and the evaluation race. And we're hoping not to bottle it for once, but as you can see, we've already braked way too late into turn one, even with the racing line on, and we've lost a heap of time there and oversteered through turn two. So not the ideal start to the lap, but there is some time in the middle sector. We locked up into the double left-hander, so we should be able to pull back a tenth or two there. But again, we are aiming for a 26.7. I know I can do a 26.6. Aaron Dazzler is very quick here, so I expect he can be even quicker than that. So the fact that we've already messed this up does not look good for our hopes of challenging Aaron for probably the win today, because he is a lot quicker than everyone else in this league, and it's maybe my job to try and beat him, but it's not going to be easy. He was very quick in the time trial event and the evaluation race round here as well, which doesn't fill me with hope. We managed to navigate the double left a bit better this time without locking up as we now come through here on the power nice and early. I actually managed to nail that pretty much as we now head through this flat right-hander here, although the racing line tells us that it's not flat, but it is, as we now have to go down to third for the technically third to last corner, but second to last proper corner, just to get the nose in, which has given us a bit of a better exit as we now head towards the last corner. We messed this up on the end of our last lap, so we just need to manage to get on the power nice and early. We haven't really done that. It's been pretty average overall. It's going to be a 26.9, better than ILR, but still not great given the practice that I put in for this. But yeah, we'll take it, and I think we actually are managed to be soft, and that's tremendous English. We are actually the top soft runner because Aaron Dazzler bottled it and is down in ninth. So it's Larry who takes pole from Nicole, Humperdinck, Seabro, CJ, Lama with myself, then Malta, then Aaron Dazzler, and then Giant rounding out the top 10, also on soft. So a few people going for the super soft strategy. I think it's slower. Well, it is slower, but we'll have to see if they can. If we get caught up in incidents, Aaron and I and the Giant, maybe they can maybe take the win here. So an interesting race. There's a lot of super soft runners who will have to negotiate. So there's a good chance for them as we now head to the race game once again, trying to tell us to do the two-stop, swiftly changing that up, changing the fuel up as well to give us a lot of extra fuel, because I'm pretty thirsty on this game in terms of my fuel usage, so we'll have to go for that one, I think. And so we're now readying ourselves for the race, where hopefully we'll be able to get a decent start. It's a funny joke, I can't start, but I'll do my best. We have 2 lights, now we have 3, 4 lights, and it's 5 lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. My start's not actually been too bad given I'm on the soft. Lama has had an unreal start, and Aaron Dazzler as well on the softs has come flying through from ninth. So he's ahead of us already here as we head down towards turn one. Just going to try and keep it clean. There's a bit of contact between Dazzler and my teammate CJ and the other house, and then there's contact between me and the car that I can't see until now, which is Matty Man in the Williams. I was wondering where he was at the time, but luckily managed to get away with it. I don't think anyone got damaged as we now head down towards turn 4, and I've been way too late on the brakes then, just kind of sliding out wide. Luckily I was able to squeeze around the back of CJ there and not cause any damage. Unfortunately about now, my dad decided to walk in front of the TV screen, which was not distracting at all, so I've had to cut that bit out. But Matty Man is now behind us again after gaining the position at turn 4 where we ran wide. Unfortunately I can't show that, but these things happen. As we now head through the flat right hander, we've taken much more speed than CJ. We're going to have a dive, Lewis Hamilton on Bottas-esque, although CJ's not let us through there, I don't think, and we've just been able to take the position. But he's now defending from Matty in the Williams, so we're going to switch back to give our teammate the sit room and then switch back to the racing line for the braking zone. And this is very good because now they've battled each other and held each other up through the last corner, so I shouldn't really be under threat as we head down into turn 1, which is fantastic, obviously, because I need to be getting after Seabro, who I wasn't in the slipstream of due to the battling with Matty, and then CJ on the opening lap there. But he's on the supers. He'll be quicker until about lap 4 or 5, and then I should start to reel him in, with Aaron already unfortunately ahead of Seabro due to his unreal start, especially given he was on the soft tyres. So unless he gets caught up in something, I think his pace is going to be too quick, but obviously we're not going to give up. We're going to push as hard as we can as we're now within the DRS of Seabro as we come to start lap number 5 here, and we're closing on him nicely. We're quite far back, but I think I'm going to go for it. We've gone for the dive there. Ricardo S, we've sort of got the car stopped. We've run a bit deep in the apex. He's gone for the switchback, but I know my tyres are in better condition at this point, and that moves us up into, I think, P6. I think. I'm not certain about that, but we'll go with P6. And hopefully that's correct. with Aaron in P5 just ahead of us. Now we're catching up to the back of overrated Llama at the end of the next lap, as I think someone was in the pits maybe. So yeah, Llama unfortunately got caught up in an incident with the Humperdinck. The Humperdinck spun in the double left-hander, and Llama just had nowhere to go. So he's got a bit of front wing damage at the moment. We're going to go through the cutback through turn 2, as there's a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there. Obviously, Llama had understeer through turn 2 due to 1, worn tyres, and 2, the front wing damage, as this is going to allow us to go right round the outside of him into turn number 4, and we should have the better exit with the superior tyres and the outside line, and indeed we do, and that's up into P4, as I think Humperdinck was in the pits on the previous lap. So it's going pretty well for us at the moment, as we now skip to the end of the next lap with Nicole reserve in the pit lane, and Larry as well, who the pole man. So it's now Aaron Dazzler in first, about 4 seconds ahead of me, and yeah, we had to save our tyres. Our tyres were not in good nick actually, so we had to go a bit slower than I maybe would have liked. But come to lap 11, they're still reasonably grippy despite that oversteer moment, as we're now going to head into the pits here to swap these out for a set of mediums. A bit cautious on the pit entry, but obviously you don't want to stop go as unnecessary, so better to be a little bit cautious than lose 5 seconds. We've held up Aaron Dazzler. Well, we haven't held up Aaron Dazzler because the game is bad. We could have held Aaron quite significantly there, but the game just let him go inside us and leave the pits when he really shouldn't have done so. But unfortunately, what's about to happen is the fact that Aaron's now ahead of the Williams and the Humperdinck, and we're quite far behind him. So that just shows the gap there, and at this point, I'm thinking, unless he gets taken out by someone he has to fight through, or there's a safety car, it's very unlikely that I'm going to be catching him, because my pace on the mediums is alright, but he's just done a 29.9, and I can't match that. I think I've done a 30.3, so it's not bad pace, but his is just unreal, and so I'll do my best, but I think Jack was in the pits at the end of that lap, so that moves us up a place. As we now skip to lap number 16, starting lap 17, Minty started in the mediums, is coming for a set of softs, which he'll now take to the end and push on past the one-stoppers who've done the reverse strategy. So that will be interesting to see where he ends up. As we now skip to the end of the next lap, Humperdinck's tyres have gone off, as Aaron sets a 29.6 that time. Humperdinck's in the pits, he's giving us a free bit of DRS, which I'm very thankful for, as that moves us up into P4 now with Nicole, Larry and Dazzler, who's already passed both of them and is out in the lead ahead of us. As we now skip to the end of the next lap, is Nicole in the pit lane, which will move us up into a podium position, and Larry stretching this thing out even further before he comes into the pit lane at the end of the next lap, which is what we're seeing. At the moment, there's actually an incredible battle behind me for what is effectively third place between Stewie, Seabro and Jack as Midget, who's a lap down, sets the fastest lap. But unfortunately, we weren't involved with that, and our race was incredibly boring. We just drove around for the rest of the race, didn't see anyone, and it's Aaron Dazzler who takes the win. Unsurprisingly, I was expecting that to happen, to be honest. As the fireworks go off to congratulate him. It's second place for us, a very good result. Nothing more I really could have done. Aaron's pace was unmatchable today. So I'm very happy with my result overall, as we now cut to the podium with Aaron celebrating with myself there in second, and I think it was Larry who took home third in the Force India. So yeah, a good result for us. Second is as much as we could have hoped for, as mentioned, and obviously the championship is exactly the same as the race result due to the cancellation of Australia last week. Toros are actually the only team to get both cars in the points, as unfortunately obviously CJ DNF'd early on for Haas. But yeah, results should be on screen any moment now, and we will run through the rest of the order. I think it was Jack in fourth, who had very good pace as well. Stewie's tyres went off in the end and he came home fifth, but still double points for Toro Rosso, so they lead the constructors and the drivers. Seabro in sixth, with Minty in seventh, with his strategy working out quite well. Eighth, I think it was Nicole, with Teak in ninth, and I'm not sure who that is in 10th, but yeah, overall pretty good result from us. Pretty happy with that. We're second in the championship, and I'll see you guys very soon for the Chinese Grand Prix. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.